bum bum ba dum bum ba da 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 da. No. Hello, everybody. Look at my Christmas tree. Whoops. Hello, everybody. It's Patrick. And I thought instead of seeing as it is solstice, we would do the readings tonight in front of the Christmas tree. How is everybody? Okay, I'm kind of dark. Let's see if we can, there we go. That helps. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Whoops, that was loud. So, hello and welcome to our Monday mini medicine card readings. Tonight, in case you didn't see, we're going to do something a little bit different. Normally I pull 6 cards and let everybody choose a number and they get that card. But tonight, seeing as it just happens to be solstice, it just happens to be the official birth, the age of Aquarius. Let the sun shine, let the sun shine in. Hold on, I'm going to turn on another light so that you can actually see my face, because that might be helpful. There we go. All right. That's better. Now you can see me. And you can see my Christmas sweater with the unicorns and the jackalopes. All right, so we are going to, as I was saying, we're going to do a little bit different tonight, seeing as it is solstice. I thought, instead of doing little individual readings, like doing the individual cards, that I would do my normal 5-card reading. Hey, Angie. So this is kind of a general reading for what is going on right now, seeing as it's solstice, since it's the birth of the light, the longest night of the year, the shortest day, and as that darkness that gives birth to the light, I thought it would be appropriate to do a reading, a full reading, to give you an idea of what the energies are like, what to expect coming up. And I'm just smudging my cards. And also, it'll give you an idea, if you've never had a personal reading with me, it'll give you a better idea of what a reading with me is like. If you come in, whoop, to see me, smudge everywhere. So, we are going to do that. It's going to be a special night. And I got my Christmas tree. Because we're not normally for Christmas, I go to Minnesota to see my family. Most of my family is there. I have a little sister also in Costa Rica, but usually we all meet in Minnesota for Christmas, and this year, of course, because of the pandemic, that's not going to happen. So, and normally because of that, because I'm usually gone during the week of Christmas, etc., I usually don't get a tree, because by the time I would get back, it would be all dry. Plus, this is the first year. Plus, I've got Kira, my little kitty, running around here somewhere. And being gone and not knowing how she would react to a tree in the house, it always seemed like a better idea to not. So this year, one of the blessings in disguise, seeing as I can't travel, decided I needed a Christmas tree. So we got a Christmas tree. And so I thought I would share that with you, do it in front of the tree instead of at the table where I normally do it. So be a little festive. I don't know if you can hear, I've got the Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack on in the background. So, for those of you just joining, if you've been here before, normally I pull 6 cards and have you choose a number between 1 and 6. And this week we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to do a full, like a 5-card reading, like I would do, like if you came to me for a reading, this is what that would look like. And that way give everybody a deeper sense for what they need to know right now, coming into this new age, into a new year, coming into this birthing of the light in general, and the light that you are coming to the surface. So, and then next week we'll probably go back to our normal pulling 6 cards. So, all right. All right. Wow, okay. This is awesome. This is a really good. Did I do that? I'm going to. So I got the cards on the floor in front of me. I will show you what they look like. La la la, if I can figure out my phone. So, can you see? La la, whoa. So this is like it's a form of a medicine wheel, okay? So you've got east, south, west, north, and center. And each animal, like each animal has its own message, its medicine, its energy. And then, especially when we do a reading like this, especially cards that are across from each other in a reading tend to relate to each other, but there's also, I always start in the east and go around to the center. And what's really interesting, and I'll get to the context in a little bit, but 4 out of 5 cards are upright. We only have 1 card that's reversed. And so right away, this is like beyond the law of averages. According to the law of averages, there should be at least 1 more card up. Let's see, I don't know if you can see the bottom card. So we only got 1 card up that's upside down, and everything else is upright, which is amazing, not before you even get into the context of the cards. So let me switch this back. Ta-da! Okay, now I messed up my setup. Let's get my... How is that? Let's see. There's the tree. Tree. Okay, why is... Okay, because I have to come this way. There we go. Okay, so that is what the cards... So we've got the 5 cards up in a medicine wheel, east, south, west, and north, and center. And so I always start in the east. And oh, Kimberly, we're not doing the choose. So if you came in late, we're not going to do the 1 through 6. So you don't need to choose a number. I'm going to do a whole solstice reading to kind of get what do you need to know right now. And so I'm going to do the full reading, 5 cards, and that goes for everyone. So it's kind of a general thing, and whatever you need to get out of it will stand out to you. So if that makes sense. So in that pattern, we have in the east, I always start in the east because that's where the sun rises. And in the east, we have wolf. Wolf is the teacher. Wolf is, the pack always has scouts that go out ahead of the pack. And so they're the trailblazers. This is us. If you're watching this, this is you. You are a trailblazer. You're venturing into unknown territory ahead of the pack, ahead of the rest, because you are that courageous and adventurous. And because you are, how do I say it? You're among the few that, the empaths, the introverts, the inventive, creative, artistic, those of us that are of that ilk, we are the ones that blaze the trails for others. We are the ones that get inspiration to create ideas, to explore things, because we can't be stuck into a box like most of the rest of society. We need our freedom. We need to venture. We need adventure. We need to explore. We need to learn. We need to create. Everything that we do has to be new and fresh. We can't. It's like the same old things don't satisfy us. We need to explore. We need to try out new things and see where we can go with things. Does that make sense? So we are the innovators, we are the trailblazers, we are the one that venture ahead of the rest of the pack. We're the visionaries. We see ahead of time what's coming down the line. So we are the ones who venture into the unknown, and then we come back to the pack and tell them what we have found. And so that they know what the landscape looks like ahead. We make it safe for others to explore where they might not have the courage to go on their own. The other thing about wolf is this well, being a canine, wolf is a guardian, right? Wolf is the guardian of the wild. Being a predator, for instance, when they I don't know if you've seen that video, when they reintroduced wolves to Yellowstone Park, can I get that tree in here more? Yeah. When they introduced the wolves to Yellowstone Park, at the time, there were no predators. The deer and the elk and the bison just kind of wandered ramshot over everything. There were no territories. The land was not that healthy because everything was trampled. The rivers had changed courses because the banks had been stumbled down because the... oh, hey Pixie, I love you too. the bison and the deer and the elk, they had nothing to fear. They had nothing to keep them in line. And so they just trampled all the rivers. They overate the vegetation. And then when the wolves came in, number one, they preyed on the sick and the weak of the herds. So they made the herd stronger by taking out the lower, the sickly ones, the ones that would bring sickness or slow down the herd or whatever. They took those they would take those out, and because of that, the herds became more. They would only go down to the river at certain places where they had safety. They could see all around them to see where the predators were. So the river banks recovered. The rivers regained their courses. The vegetation was able to grow and thrive again because it wasn't being overeaten. And the deer, the herds were able, they had more to eat because they weren't supporting weak and sickly members of the herd, etc. So the wolf is like the moderator of the wild. He is the guardian of the wild. And wolf brings in this very balanced masculine and feminine. Just like on the card here, we've got wolf howling at grandmother moon. So wolf, you know, canines are kind of generally seen as masculine, whereas like felines tend to be seen as more feminine. But with wolf, he gets his power from grandmother moon. That's the divine feminine. That is intuition. That is connection. So wolf is guided by his heart. It is healthy masculinity. The masculine watching, giving form to the desires of the feminine. And this isn't necessarily men have this role and women have this role kind of thing, but we are all masculine and feminine within us. And the masculine is the part that acts. The feminine is the inspiration, just like grandmother moon. And it is from that inspiration that wolf knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So wolf gives body, gives physical form and expression to the inspiration of the divine feminine. So that is like, I mean, the first card out of the deck for the solstice, that's a really awesome. We're coming into a time of balancing the masculine and feminine, of more people becoming heart-driven rather than mentally driven or greed-driven. So it's like we are in new territory, and you're on the leading edge of that territory, making things that are new and strange safe for others to explore. You know, if you look at even like all this woo-woo stuff, like shamanism, like Wicca and witchcraft and New Age kind of things, and tarot and crystals, these things are all gaining new validity in the mainstream. And some people think that's a bad thing, but what that means is that we're doing our job. We are, by working on ourselves, exploring ourselves, you know, and exploring where we are called to explore, we are opening the way for others to explore it. And yeah, it gets kind of watered down when it hits the mainstream, but it's still there. That is a seed of knowledge, a seed of wisdom that will only grow. So I am all for, you know, and one of the things that, this has come up a couple of times recently, but one of the things that I try to do is, I was actually doing an interview a number of years ago with a online radio station, And he asked me, well, what is it that you're trying to do? Like, what is your mission? And without even thinking about it, this just blurted out of my mouth, and I didn't do it on purpose. It was just, I want to demystify shamanism. And the guy was just like, what? How the heck are you going to do that? Because you're dealing with the spirits. How can you demystify something that's working with the spirits? And I'm like, right. So let's normalize talking to the spirit guides. Let's normalize consulting our animal spirits or our ancestors. Let's make that a normal thing. Let's mainstream that so that everybody, is empowered to seek their own wisdom, their own enlightenment from their spirit guides. Let's make it normal so it's not so woo-woo, right? So that's what we are doing. We're exploring new territory, following our hearts to go where no one has gone before, and then make that way safe for the rest. So that is where we are right now. We're on that edge of exploring. What's interesting, so we've got Wolf in the east, which is the mental realm. It's air, it's the mental realm. And across in the west, which is water and emotions, we have Coyote. And so we've got two canines playing with each other. Mentally, we're entering new frontiers. Mentally, we're doing a lot of mental exercises, but it's not somber, it's not serious. We're doing it because we like to do it, because it's fun, because we enjoy it, we take it lightly. So there's this great balance between these two, mentally and emotionally. Mentally, we are exploring new lands and exploring new ways to do things, new perspectives, new ways to see things. And buoying that up emotionally is this sense of joy and not taking it too seriously. One of my very favorite quotes of all time is from Oscar Wilde. He said, "Life is too important to be taken seriously." So what we do when we're, it used to be, I've got to work on myself. I have to grow. I have to do my spiritual work. I have to do my shadow work. I have to do this to become better and better. And it's like, it was work, it was trudging uphill, pushing a boulder up the mountain. And it was hard and serious, and if you faltered, you could go to hell or whatever. We're doing it now because it's fun. We're doing it now because it brings joy and laughter. We need to play our way to enlightenment. Coyote is the trickster. He's the sacred clown. And if you think about like Wile E. Coyote from the Roadrunner cartoons, that's exactly what coyote medicine is. If you start to take things too seriously, if you're taking yourself too seriously, especially from the ego standpoint, where it's like, oh my God, I have to do this. This is like life or death. I need to figure this out. Coyote is going to come along and nip at your heels until you trip. But tripping you up it's not mean-spirited. It's not, someone's got to take you down a notch. You're getting too big for your britches. It's not to shame you. It's to wake you up. It's like all the protests we had this year, like the Black Lives Matter and other protests. It's to interrupt the hamster wheel of routine. And if you're stuck in this tunnel vision, I got to do this, I got to do that, there's only one way to do this, Coyote's going to come along and trip us up in order to get us to look at where we are and to laugh at ourselves. It's an inclusive thing. It's not to, ha ha, You know, he's not doing it to make fun of you. He's getting it. He's like, come on, let's play. You're too serious. We need to have some fun. So Coyote is here to keep it light, to keep us self-conscious about our own foibles and our own dorkiness, and we are going to do great things. We are going great places this year. And we're going to do it with the air of fun. Not, you know, it's not, I need to do this to save the world. The world doesn't need saving. The world's fine the way it is. We just need to change our perspectives and look at it differently and act differently. So that's east and west on here. Getting into the south, we have elk. The south is about action. The south is fire. So the south is about action and passion and desire. And I always, because of that, because it's like a place of heart and desire and passion, I always think of it as kind of the place of purpose. The south is kind of the card that kind of gives us a hint at what our personal purpose is. Elk is about stamina. So I'm not getting a specific purpose per se, because this is kind of a general reading, so it's not like your purpose is to do this. But what that card tells me, especially being in the south, which is the place of action, is that, you know, we've got our mission. We're heading out to explore new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Elk comes along with the stamina to let us know that whatever we set our sights on, we are going to get there. Elk has, I mean, he's got the antlers, he's got sharp hooves, he's very, very strong. So he has the ability to defend himself in that way if he needs to. But Elk's main defense is that he can outdistance the predators. You know, it's interesting too, because we've got wolf in the east, and then we've got elk in the south, which is like kind of a full circle of life. And so elk's main defense is that he can run for hours and hours and hours without slowing down and without getting tired. Predators tend to be sprinters. They rely on stealth. You know, they have to a certain extent, sneak up on their prey, and then they get like a single burst of speed to try to take down the prey. And if they miss the prey with that burst of speed, then they're done. They have nothing left. And so elk, if he gets enough of a start on the wolves, he's gone. They can't touch him. So what that means as well, I was doing a reading for someone, and elk came up. And so I was telling him that whole thing about the wolves, you know, coming, and the elk is running, getting further and further ahead of the wolves. And all of a sudden, this image went vertical, and I realized it's about raising your vibration so that the wolves barking and nipping at your heels down here, they can't touch you because you're up here. It's about vibration. It's about frequency. So, since that doesn't give like each individual that's watching this or whatever, you know, a specific purpose, your life purpose is to do this. This is about doing what brings you joy. Again, take things lightly, enjoy. And it's those things, you know, again, that's in the south, which is heart, which is passion. So it's about when you live by your passions, when you're doing those things that you're passionate about, those things that you can't not do, you know, those are the things that carry you, you know. And when you're aligning and connecting through your passions, through those things that light you up, you know, those things that, how do they say that? You find yourself by losing yourself in them. You know, for me, it's this. This is one of them. The other is cartooning. I'm a cartoonist as well, and drawing my comics, it's something I can't not do. In fact, my comics are called Drawing Breath because it's like breathing. It's like my comics are a natural exhalation from me. It's like just in being who I am, comics result. And so whatever that is for you, whatever that passion is, if it's some kind of creative arts or crafts or math or whatever it is that lights you up, do that. It is time to let your fires burn. It is time to let your fires be seen. We're meant to show people the way. And so, and how appropriate is that for solstice? You know, it's the birth of the light, darkest day of the year, night of the year, and it is the birth of the light of the new year to come. And especially today we had I wish we could see it, it's kind of raining. It was actually snowing a little bit earlier here in Washington, in the Seattle area, so I didn't get to see the conjunction. But how amazing is that we actually got the Christmas star, the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, showing like a bright star on solstice. How amazing is that? So let your light shine. Whatever that is that lights you up, that is the territory that you are meant to demonstrate to the rest of the world. That is your job. Your job is to be joyful. Your job is to do those things that light you up like nothing else. And it is through that we teach people, we give people an example of what it's like to live a passionate life. You know, I was just talking to someone about teachers, you know, and when you think back on school, the teachers that I remember are the ones who were passionate. You know, my favorite teacher of all time his name was Mr. Duspavic at Archbishop Brady High School in West St. Paul, Minnesota. And he was just passionate about everything. It was like he knew pretty much everything. He knew a little bit about everything. And so he would talk with this kind of authority and this kind of childlike wonder at these different things. And he was a history professor, but he covered like all these different things. And I just loved to be in his presence, because whether I knew anything about what he was talking about or even cared about it, the passion is contagious, right? So that's what we need to do. Instead of hiding our geek flag, instead of hiding ourselves away because we're weird and we have these things that other people don't understand, it's time to let those things light us up, and to let that light and that fire of passion be contagious to the rest of the world. I love when people geek out, and I don't care what it is. I love being in the presence of someone geeking out about anything. I mean, I'm in the SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronisms, which is a medieval recreationist group. So we play like we're in the Middle Ages, we dress up like the Middle Ages, and there are so many little things in that to geek out about. Like, I have friends that are into heraldry, and I love hearing them geek out when they discover a new like a new symbolism, and they can document it to the 16th century or whatever, you know, is like, just listening to people geek out is amazing. And so it's time for us, you and me, to let our geek flag fly, to let that lead us, because it is those things that make us stand out rather than being a burden, or, you know, the things that we were teased about. Those are actually our strengths that we came into this life with, to share and to uplift the rest of the world. So, let your geek flag fly. All right. So, I covered east, south, and west. So we come to the north, and in the north we have Raven in reverse. And in my readings, the vast majority of the time, if a card comes up reversed, it's not a bad thing. It's not like, you did something wrong and you have to fix it. It is nothing like that. It tends to be something that's in the wings, like a seed that hasn't quite sprouted yet. It's something, because the card, that animal wouldn't be here if they didn't have something to give to you, that there wasn't a gift in their presence. They're here to help us with whatever it is. And so in reverse, it's just a need to focus on something, or it's something that actually, a lot of times, it's something that's taking place on the unconscious or subconscious level that we're not even aware of, but it's something that's coming to the forefront. And especially in a reading like this, where all the other cards are upright, it's kind of like, those are all the strengths that are coming together, and this is the funnel where, and especially because this is in the north, and the north is earth. So the north is the physical, logistical world. And so all these other things, like I said, it's like mind and emotional and heart and passion, action. So they're all kind of the untouchables, unseeables. And so they're all coming together, and the way they're going to manifest into this physical world is through this. And Raven is, oh wow, I didn't even, holy crap, okay. So like I said, we're at solstice, the longest, darkest night of the year. Raven is that dark night. Raven is that darkness of the cosmic womb. And so when Raven comes up, the darkness is not evil. It is, like I said, it's the cosmic womb. It's within the dark that all possible realities exist. Everything is birthed from the dark, from the womb. So all those things that I was talking about are all in the dark, kind of floating around and coming together, joining, getting ready to be born into this world. And Raven, that like when you think about Raven, that velvety, sparkly, glistening feathers, that iridescence that kind of reflects the night sky. You know, when we think of infinity, we think of the night sky, we think of space, we think of all the Milky Way and the nebulas. That's kind of what Raven reflects. And so what this means is that anything is possible. It means that what we are creating right now, as we're coming into alignment with ourselves, as we're learning more and more about ourselves and expressing that, and bringing more love and compassion into the world, living from our hearts, that it is so, how do I say it? It is so amazing that we can't see it yet. It's still in it's still a mystery, because we are in the process of creating a reality that is so magnificent, so magical, that we have yet to see what it's going to look like. Does that make sense? Which means we can create whatever reality we want. You know, with Raven is like, it's like the deepest, most luscious, creative, sparkly, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo magic that there is. You know, Raven is connected to many, many creation myths. And probably the best known is about Raven, and how Raven was the one who went to the sun and stole fire from the sun to bring into this world so that we could see it. Like before that, the world was in darkness, everybody was stumbling around and tripping over each other, and Raven flew to the sun and brought fire back in order to help the world be able to see. And so we are going into the dark, from this dark of this night. This whole year has been like a dark night of the soul. And so it's been a rebirth. It's been like letting go of everything that doesn't fit, rethinking everything, refeeling everything, being broken down to our basic essence, letting go of anything that isn't essentially us, and rebuilding that to be rebirthed. And so in the darkness, we are always trained to think, like when things are uncertain, when things are unknown, when we don't know what the future holds, we tend to go to the worst case scenario, right? Because in our society, we have Murphy's Law, where, how does that go again? Like, the worst will always happen. Like, I don't even remember how that goes anymore, because it's so outside my range of thinking. But anything that can go bad does go bad. That's it. And so we have that kind of that nihilistic thing, because we don't want to get our hopes up, we don't want to be disappointed, so we just kind of sail at half mast, so we don't get too uppity or too egotistical or arrogant, so we kind of keep things low. It's time to think on a grandiose scale. It's time. And so this is opposite elk in this reading. So this is in the north, this is in the south. So when we focus on our joys and our passions and allow those passions to carry us, the sky is the limit on what we can create. The future is unwritten, and we get to create it. And so we go into the dark, into the womb, and from all the myriad possibilities and realities floating around out there, we get to choose the one or the ones to pull back into the light. Just like Raven, who fetched light from the sun to bring to the dark earth. We go into the dark to find light, and we pull what we want into the light. So use your affirmations, use your vision boards, use your visualization, do your creative visualization. Think about where you want to be, who you want to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, whatever it is. Because when you're fueled by your passions and you follow your passions, and you become who you were meant to be in this world, it's by working on ourselves, improving ourselves, learning who we are, that the world benefits. It's like when we all do better, we all do better. And so your responsibility for the world is to make sure that you're lighting up. And it's not so important how others take you. That's immaterial. The important part is showing up and shining. Let your light shine. You can't be a beacon if your light don't shine. Oh, you hear Charlie Brown in the background. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so we came here to let our light shine. We're meant to show people the way, to be the light of the world. Be the light you want to see in the world. That's how we save the world, by saving ourselves. And so, instead of the worst case scenario, start thinking about the best case scenario. Think about the world you want to live in. Be the visionary that sees through all the subterfuge and illusions and bad attitudes and everything else that people have. And I'm just going to start my soundtrack over if I can, if it'll get it. Come on, there you go. I ran out of music, my soundtrack ran out. So, know that nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. And we can't even conceive of how great things can be. All right, so now getting into the center, the last card of the reading. Echoing pretty much everything else. So this is kind of the hub of the wheel. Like I said, it's like a medicine wheel. The 4 cards and the directions in the center one, which is Spirit, the hub of the wheel. And we have Grandmother Spider. This is like the perfect card for right now. Grandmother Spider reminds us that each of us, every one of you, is the creator of your own reality. You are the center of your own world, which you create. And it's literally the web of life. We are all connected to everything. And so that's how that works, like I just said about, it's by saving ourselves that we save the world, because we are the world. We are the world. We literally have threads that go out and touch every part of the universe. The universe is a hologram, and we are each a part of that hologram. And as a part of the hologram, we each contain the entire hologram within us. And so, be ready to have your intuition go into high gear. Spider sits on her web, and she knows all the vibrations of every little thread, and how it vibrates tells her whether to go toward it or away from it. It's like, oh, that's danger, or oh, that's dinner. So it's like really paying attention to your own vibes, to the vibes that are coming in. Who was it said you can know the world without ever leaving your house? And it's true, because you are connected to everything. You have everything within you. If you never took another step outside onto the street again, you would still change the world by what you did in your own home, what new revelations and enlightenment and everything else you came to. So know that you are that powerful, that you are the center of your reality, and that you create your reality, just like Spider creates her web. And many spiders actually take down their web every night and build a new one every morning. So this is part with going lightly, taking things lightly, because if the first one doesn't work, we get to adjust and tweak it and create an even better one the next day. Every moment is a moment of creation. There are as many moments in the infinite past as there are in the infinite future, and we are suspended here and now on this web. And so nothing is ever finished, nothing is ever over. We are constantly creating anew. And so no matter what happens, we have the power to create a new web, to create new connections. What else, Grandmother Spider? It's just coming in, and it's that coming into awareness of your connection. You are never alone. You are always, always, always connected to everything else. Every living thing, every molecule, it is all energy. That's all we are. We are all part of source energy, and we are connected by our hearts. And it is through our hearts that we connect to Great Spirit. So, anything else? So, basically, we got this. Not only do we got this, and we're going to survive this, we are going to, rock this thing. We are going to, holy crap, be magnificent. It's a new world. It's a new moment. It's a new age, literally. We just crossed into the age of Aquarius that we've been singing about since the 60s. And I don't know about you, but when I woke up this morning, I felt a shift. Normally I wake up, it's kind of like, okay, groggy. Okay, what do I got to do today? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Today I woke up, it was like, whoosh. It was like, there was no heaviness on me. There was no, I got to do this, I got to do that. It was just right here, right now. And so, oh, awesome. Thank you, Grandmother Spider. Another thing she says, cast off the old web. You don't need it anymore. Cast off the old world. All those unhealthy, toxic ties that you had before to unhealthy people, unhealthy habits, unhealthy thought patterns and beliefs. And it's time to build a new world, to build a new age. Because we can do anything we want. We can create anything. And together we can make this magnificent world based on love and respect. And it's just amazing. Thank you, Grandmother Spider. So awesome. I knew I had seen a couple other readings through the day and saw a couple things on YouTube and different things about readings people had done for today, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what my reading is like, because it's going to be awesome. And it is. It did not disappoint. So the world is ours. The universe is ours to do with as we will. And that's not to say, people freak out when you say that kind of thing, because we're raised in that consciousness of people are basically bad and evil and sinners, and if we're left to our own devices, we're going to kill and pillage and rape and all of that. And it's like, no, that's not what it is. We are basically love. We come from love. Even in Christianity, they talk about God is love, and we are created in His image. So how can we be anything less than love? We are pure love. We are pure light. Anything, any thought, any belief, any action that makes you feel other than that is is intrinsically false, because you are the light of the world. You are the light of the universe. You are made from star stuff, literally. Everything that makes up the sun, that's what we are made of. We are stars, and there is nothing we can't do. And when we move in alignment with that divinity within us and create from our hearts, that's listening to the divine feminine, and that is the way the world is going. It's like the feminine is arising, goddess is arising, and we are becoming more inclusive. We are becoming more aware and compassionate and loving to everyone, realizing that we are all in this together. And when we come together, the things we can do, holy crap, you know. So where was I going with that? I just lost my train of thought. But so when we say nothing's impossible, we can do whatever we want to do, it's not from a selfish, egotistical standpoint of, I'm going to do this whether you like it or not, you know, which is a form of rebellion. When what I'm talking about, we can do anything we want to do. I can be anything I want to be. I can listen to my heart, because my heart is my divine compass telling me what I came here to do. It is my divine command performance to bring into this world. So thank you for being born at this time. Thank you for being here on the planet with me. I am grateful for every single one of you, for the light that you bring, for the creativity that you bring, how we learn from each other, how we build each other's energy and make everything possible. We are the future, my friends. We are building a new world and a new age. And nothing is going to be able to catch us, because we are moving into a higher and higher frequency where the wolves are not going to be able to catch us. They can only go up so high in their vibrations, and they can't reach us in the stratosphere of vibrations where we are going. So take that. Please take credit. This is, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, this reflects who you are and where you are right now. So please take credit for how far you have come. Please take credit for where you stand on the pinnacle of a great new world. You did that, and I'm proud of you. It's not easy. We tend to kind of shrink into the background because we don't want to be seen, we don't want to be noticed, we don't want to be teased or whatever. But look at us. Look at you. Look at what you've done. I mean, even in the past year, it has been a heck of a year. It has been crazy, crazy. But we survived. And because of that dark night that this past year has been, we are now finally moving into the dawn of the next day, where we get to create whatever we want to. So take credit for that. Take solace in that, knowing that you are not alone, knowing that there are so many others on the same path creating this world. And there is so much hope. There is so much light in the future. I can't believe it. I am so excited. I am so hopeful. I'm so optimistic for where the world is headed. So thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Awesome. And I just hit the hour mark, so I'm not going too overboard. So that is how a normal reading goes. If you were to come to me, here, let me give you another view of the cards before I go, so that you can get a visual of how they're laid out. let's see here. Chink. So this is the reading with the cards in their places. And so that is where we are. That is a snapshot of right now and the immediate future of where we're going. You done good, honestly. And that, so if you were to come and get a personal reading from me, which I would so love, I would be so honored. I love doing readings for people. I'm here to empower people. So please, if that calls to you, ask, and I would love to do a personal reading with you. And you can see how much more detailed and the way the cards act together. That's how an individual reading goes. And I am here to do readings to help in other ways, shamanic healings, all kinds of different shamanic work. So you can check out my website at perchingwolfstudios.net and see what I do that might resonate with you. And even if you don't know, it's like I'm not really the one that decides what needs to be done anyway. Being a shaman, I'm the hollow bone, and the spirits tell me what needs to be done. So even if you don't know what you might need, if you just feel the call to talk to a shaman, to connect with a shaman, please, it's my deepest joy to be able to help others. So I am here in this weird time of uncertainty and unprecedented weirdness. We all need a little more guidance this time, including me. And so please help. I'm here to help if I can in any way. And what else? So a blatant self-promotion, if you don't mind. If you are interested in shamanism, if you are interested in a lot of the things that I say when I'm doing these readings and such, I actually have a year-long course in shamanism coming up, beginning the third Thursday of January and going once a month for an entire year. So you get to spend an entire year of your life walking the shamanic path. Whether you're called to be a shaman or not, anyone can walk a shamanic path. And so I offer that for people who want to try it out, to see their lives from a different perspective, to see it from a different depth. So please look into that on my website as well. Join me for that if that calls for you. I would be so honored. This is the 4th year I'm doing it. Every year it gets better, and I am just amazed at the growth and the revelations that my students get. So please check that out. And if you don't know how to do a shamanic journey, I'm teaching an Introduction to Shamanic Journey class Tuesday, January 12th. And you can try it out then, and if you like it, you can continue into the year-long class. But that is what I love to do. As you can tell, this is my passion. I love talking about spirit. I love talking about shamanism. I love sharing my story so that others can find their own. So reach out to me. Don't be shy. Connect with me. See what we can do together. See if you're willing to or able to take one of my classes. And other than that, thank you so much for watching me. You know, if you're a regular here, thank you for your persistence. And if you're new here, welcome and thank you. And join me next week at the same time, 7:30 every Monday. We'll probably go back to the old 6 cards, and you choose a number and see which card belongs to you. And thank you for indulging me in this reading for Solstice. I hope it was meaningful for you. I hope you got something out of it. And if you're interested too, Wednesday nights I do another live video, if you're not aware of it. I do a sacred pipe ceremony here on my Facebook page live, creating a sacred space for us to just breathe and to pray and send our intentions to Great Spirit using the the sacred pipe, the peace pipe, as Hollywood would say it. But so you can join me then, 7 o'clock on Wednesdays for the sacred pipe ceremony, to take part in something. If you've never been there, it's the most sacred space I know of to pray with, and I would love to share that with you as well. So thank you for listening to me ramble on. I have passed the hour mark now because I had to ramble more, but thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. It means the world to me, and I thank you for your support. I can feel you here with me, and this is one of the highlights of my week. I always look forward to this. So please join me next week. Join me Wednesday night if you can for the pipe ceremony. Connect with me. You can email me or connect with me like Facebook Messenger to set up appointments for readings or healings or whatever calls to you. And thank you again. And I will see you next week. And actually, it may be Wednesday. So until then, just know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. So go shining, my friends, and we will see you soon. All right. Bye.